It just keeps happening, doesn't it? News keeps breaking. If you're a United fan like me right now, you're constantly checking your phone. When you go out, you go and check your phone when you finish, whatever you're doing, just to see what's going on with United. Silly season is well and truly upon us. Streams are going to be at all sorts of different times as we get through this summer. And we've not even finished the bleeding season. Ten Hag being defiant. He's coming out saying he thinks he's safe. Well, in how I see it, I think he's saying that, because saying that he won't talk to Bayern because he's convinced and he's sure that he's got unfinished business with Manchester United. He's confident he's going to stay. Is that true, or is he telling little white lies there? Is he just saying what's needed to be said and obviously negotiating his way out of Manchester United as well for when the inevitable comes in some people's eyes? Not too long ago, everyone was backing Ten Hag, saying that he was in. Look at what's happening with the Sky interview with Gary Neville. Look how everyone is looking, how everyone is actually coming behind Ten Hag and looking at the positives that he's actually done. That was made by Sky. And then Sky dropped the news today that United are in talks with McKenna. They don't give two shits about Ten Hag or Manchester United. They're in it for the news. Sky is saying one thing, ESPN is saying another thing, The Guardian is saying another thing, MEN saying another. It is a complete mismatch. But what we do know is apparently, according to all of the media, there are now 4 candidates. People we knew and people we didn't think would be in the last 4, i.e. Thomas Frank. I mean, I spoke about Frank the other day. He's just a non-starter for me in terms of experience and what's going on. But we have to talk about him because we have spoken to him. I'm pretty confident out of the 4 that's on this list, Frank, Tuchel, Pochettino, McKenna, Frankie's bottom of that list. And that's with an inexperienced Premier League manager in McKenna in the list as well. We talked about McKenna earlier on, but there's loads of news happened over the last couple of hours. I literally went and did some training, looked at my phone, what the hell is going on? All hell is broken loose again in the world of sports media in Manchester United. It just never ends, does it? Constantly breaking news all the time with United. So let's get through what has just happened. Well, I've been off since we finished our show around about... Actually, I've got some news coming through here now. I'm just reading through something, guys. Bear with me a second. Yeah, so I'm hearing quite a few bits here as well. On top of everything that's going on, guys, we've got some news regarding the massive fallout at training ground. Oh my God. Right, okay, we better get into this here. I've just had a message come through now from someone telling me that there's a big fallout over the team selection at weekend as well. Oh, he's gone in here. Right, okay. Right, Jamie Jackson, first of all. No, actually, there's more. We talked about what Jamie Jackson said. So after we left on the show earlier on, we was talking about Tuchel being the favourite for Manchester United and everything going crazy. That being that Sky came out and said that Manchester United have spoken to representatives of Ipswich Town manager Kieran McKenna. We spoke about McKenna. Talks have happened. I personally, and I made my thoughts very, very clear. I see the positives, I see the negatives. The negatives outweigh the positives. With everything going on, maybe if this was 2 years down the line with Ineos in charge, McKenna would be the right man. I don't think he is the right man to deal with the amount of shit that's going on right now and concentrate solely on football. Yes, we've got a structure in place that's going to deal with the mess off the pitch, and you would hope that that would just leave the coach to get on with what's necessary on the training ground and on the pitch week in, week out. But I just feel like the players and the unrest and the uncertainty right now within the squad, McKenna, it's 2 years too soon for him. It's 2 years too soon. McKenna would favour a move to Manchester United if they approach him. Well, they've approached him, so if United wants him, McKenna will go there. That's quite clear. That's from Jacob Steinberg, who has been all over Manchester United for a long time now, who's big on the takeover stuff. Then you get Jamie Jackson, who was talking about early on with Thomas Tuchel being the favourites from The Guardian. He comes out and says, if Erik ten Hag departs Manchester United, it is very unlikely to happen directly after the FA Cup final. Well, that cannot happen, can it? Because we are short on time. A decision needs to be made instantly on Ten Hag. I don't know what he means by shortly after it. Maybe we'll get it after the bank holiday weekend, but it has to happen next week. Ineos need to sack or back Ten Hag by next week so we can get on with this summer. We have not got the time. I mean, I'm not in at Manchester United. I'm not part of the staff at Manchester United, but everyone can see what the schedule is for this summer. And we all know that things are more difficult when you're away on tour. We all know, well, the Euros are won. No player wants to commit to anything on their personal side and club level because they're concentrating on the international side. So we need, and we still haven't got a director of leading football in place. So a decision needs to be made very, very quickly. And then into the next news from Ben Jacobs. Everyone is on it tonight. My God. Manchester United will only make a decision on Erik ten Hag after the FA Cup final. No shit, Sherlock. God's sake, they're not going to say it tomorrow, are they? They have no plans to discuss and talk about next season before the match at Wembley. There's one bleeding day. What is the Of course nothing's going to happen tomorrow. God. Anyway, then into the nitty-gritty and what's going on. The top 4 candidates. All of a sudden, Charlotte Duckner and Matt Lawton of The Times have come out and drawn up a 4-man manager shortlist, which Manchester United have now got in place, ready for when they pull the plug on Ten Hag, which is, as we know, Tuchel, Pochettino, Frank and McKenna. They're all in the chat. They're all in the poll, guys. I'm going to come to that poll in a minute and see where you guys are at. It's ever changing, isn't it? Like the news that comes out, we have to second guess a lot of the media and what they're saying right now. But everything and everyone is just trying to jump the gun and get the story ahead of it. We have more from Rob Dawson now, and this is the more interesting stuff, I feel, in this one from Rob Dawson. I'm going to come to all of your comments in a second, guys. I'm just getting through what's actually happened. Well, I've been away training for a bleeding hour and a half. God, can't have a break. The decision on Ten Hag's future will be based on his 2 years in charge and won't be overly influenced by the result in the FA Cup final. True, good, and right. Source close to Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos insist a decision on Erik ten Hag has not yet been made and that all options remain open. They need to know what they're doing. I think that is complete and utter bollocks, personally. They must know what's happening. Otherwise, they look like they don't know what they're doing. They must have a decision in mind because they've got a big plan in 3 years. You're either convinced by Ten Hag or not. If you're basing this on one bleeding game, then it looks so unprofessional as an ownership and as a structure. Everything else, this whole best-in-class garbage, if they do not know, and it comes out that Ineos do not know yet, and all options are still open, which I think is crap. I can't see that with Ineos. They're very decisive and they're very one-track, tunnel vision. They know what they want and they go for it. They're not going to be messing around and not thinking about that manager going, this manager coming in, that one might work better. They will know who is coming into Manchester United. They have to. Rob goes on to say, Erik ten Hag turned down the opportunity to talk to Bayern about their vacant manager's job because of his desire to stay at Manchester United. That pretty much is the news that is coming out. As we discuss this now, quickly, we have a new member in the house, Alicia. Welcome to the Members Club, Madbed Free as well. Thank you so much for that. We do have a super chat in as well. I'll just dig that out now. 1 second. Oh, it's all happening. Zayn is back. It had to be Zayn, didn't it? This late at night, it's got to be Zayn. You know what he's like. How will Mackenzie compete with Arteta? He's not coming, mate. We're not getting him. I'm pretty certain we're not getting him. But if we did get him, it would be very similar to what Arteta is. No experience of Premier League football at all as a manager. And straight in at the Arsenal job. So, yeah. Well, there you go. I don't think I can answer that question any better, Zane. Cheers for the super chat, mate. Anyway, keep your likes coming in on the video, guys. Extra content today with everything that's going on, as always. It is complete and utter madness. I'm going to get some of your thoughts on this. Richie Club Sports. In my comments in the last video, I said McKenna will be Manchester United manager if Erik ten Hag is sacked. Even Fabrizio Romano confirmed that. I don't think Romano's confirmed that McKenna is going to be Man United's manager. I think what's happened is a lot of the journalists have said that Manchester United and Ineos are looking at a new direction, a different type of manager, a younger one with fresher ideas. That news has come out a lot, and obviously McKenna fits the bill on that side of things. But what is a younger manager? What age does a manager have to be to actually come under that bracket of a new age manager and new up-and-coming manager? I mean, What is McKenna? Is he just creeping up to 40 or something like that? I'm not actually too sure how old he is. He doesn't look like an old guy. Who we're looking at? Tuchel, probably the oldest, and Frank. Pochettino, he's still only 52, I think. That's quite young for a manager. What is a young manager these days? I don't know. You tell me. Alicia, new member, says the whole thing is disgustingly the Thursday before the final. This is what happens on this side of things. Like, managers know what they're getting into. I remember speaking to Mark Ogden about this. This is just the way that the managerial world works. Don't feel sorry for the managers. I feel sorry that he's got the pressure of the final. Like, he wants to concentrate on the final, and the timing isn't ideal. But they all know this happens. This is a manager's world. It's short-lived, and you take what you can. If you don't work, expect to be moved on quickly, and there will be another job for Ten Hag. He's already probably spoken, or his representatives have spoken. They're probably just coming out and saying Bayern in particular, because it's a big club, and it was rumoured that Bayern were involved in talks and wanted Ten Hag. They probably picked that one out of a few, because he's probably spoken to a few different clubs. And like Mark said at the time, don't feel sorry for him, because this is just how the managerial world works. This is what happens. Managers talk to other clubs. They line things up, because it's a short-lived career at one particular club anyway. Yeah, they can bounce from club to club, but eventually it becomes less and less if they're moving on quite a bit. So Ten Hag, still early in his managerial career compared to a lot of managers, would have options lined up if he is sacked from Manchester United. That's a guarantee. So don't feel sorry for the managers. This is just their world they live in. It's what they're used to. And when they fail, they have to pay the consequences. 25 months a member, Anthony ONG. Wow, what a legend this guy is. Thank you so much. I think it will be Tuchel. How about Adam Matic? Yep, I would do a great job at United. I know exactly what I would do with that team. McKenna would not be able to handle a big name, lazy, underachieving shower of shite we have in our dressing room. They would eat him up and spit him out. They've done this before and slagged off McKenna. This was the problem I was having before when I was talking about it. I just didn't expect to be talking about McKenna even more. And Sky dropping that bombshell that they did is absolutely... Well, it's not absolutely anything. It's reality. That's what Sky do. Like, they'll set up that interview, like I said, with Gary Neville and talking up Ten Hag. And like the next week after that, a couple of weeks after, they're talking about another manager being spoken to by Man United representatives, and then you go. So don't think that Sky pay beating everything, don't they? They're the ones that lay out the deal and the money, so they get what they want. They don't care about United. They don't care about Ten Hag's feelings. They just want the headline, like all of these journalists. I just mentioned 5 or 6 in the opening sequence of this show. They're all just looking for that news. There are certain ones you listen to more, and the noise is coming out at the moment. And like I said, you start to pay attention to these stories when everyone is talking about them. And pretty much everyone is talking about them now. So you start to get an idea as to what is happening. There's too much stuff being leaked out, and it's got to a stage where you're expecting something to happen very soon. And I think it will happen next week. The story about Manchester United not looking to sack Ten Hag very soon after the FA Cup final from Jamie Jackson, I don't think that can happen. Like, if that does happen, and it just shows that we're not really that organised. A new manager or a new coach, whoever it is, needs to know what's happening, needs to get their plan in place, needs to get used to being in and around Manchester United. The longer the summer goes, the more I think Ten Hag will be staying. You cannot leave a manager lingering around there, thinking that he's going to be in charge next summer, and all of a sudden pull the plug when you could have been getting to work with a new manager. That's just ridiculous. It's unorganised chaos, and it just won't help anyone. It won't help the players. It won't help the manager. It won't help Manchester United. It's going to kill the fans because everyone wants to know what's bleeding going on. Rory, who's been a member for 4 months. Thank you, Rory. Just renewed as well. Do you think Erik Ten Hag is gone no matter what happens on Saturday? I'm very on the fence about Erik Ten Hag, but don't like this at all. 48 hours before the final. At least it takes the focus off the final. and maybe these players go out. But I have got more news regarding that final right now, and unrest at Manchester United. Surprise, surprise. I'll get into that in a minute. I'm just going to do a few more of your chats before we move into that. Nigel Adkin did then same for Southampton, and he sacked halfway through the season and was sacked. McKenna is a risk. Tuchel is the best out of the three. Best out of there. Lee Mack, thanks for the super chat, mate. Yeah, I agree. I've said it all along. Tuchel is the best one out there. He is the best candidate for Manchester United going forward by a country mile in terms of experience and handling this mess we are in right now. Thomas McArdle with the super chats. No one knows what's happening. It's guesswork. Someone does know what's happening, and someone's waiting. There'll be some of these journalists, and tell you now, this is how it works. They will know, but they will know that they can only put it out at a certain time. They will be the first to be told. This is what happens. They get leaked the information and told by the club that you are the one that's got this information. You will be releasing it at a certain time. Otherwise, you won't be getting any future information. There will be stuff that comes out, and there will be stuff that's already said and journalists know about from the club that they will be told when it is going out. Guarantee Romano knows what's happening right now. He's just not letting on to the exact things that are going down. But you know who's going to be first with it when it does break. You know it. You're going to get the Ornsteins, you're going to get the Romanos, you're going to get the well-connected journalists and publications all over this as soon as it happens. But you've got to understand that we knew all along, and people saying and coming out saying that nothing's going to be decided until after the final. Like I said a minute ago, no shit. Like, there's nothing going to happen at all until after that final. It's just a dead cert. But one interesting thing that I have just been told, and I'll read the message out to you, what I was sent, which is, first of all, I best just address the gifted memberships in the room. They have gone to Danish Iqbal, one of our mods, Lee Johnston, Adult Old School, Legend 11, Man United Planet. Welcome to the Members Club, guys. They have been donated by Anthony ONG. Thank you very much, mate. Absolute quality stuff. Please like the video, guys. Let's get over 100 likes at least. Let's try and build up to 150. I know it's a later show. We are talking constantly Manchester United, and we're on top of everything as it goes. And it may be late, it may be early. I just got a feeling this is how this summer is going to go completely. Back to what I was just saying there regarding the final and regarding what is happening. We were talking earlier on, and if you weren't in the show at 6:30, I was told that there's a guaranteed 2 players penciled in to be starting, to be on the bench for the final that started the game against Brighton. So we all had a bit of a guessing game who that would be. And I think it pretty much came out that Scott McTominay and Sofian Amrabat would be the players that were dropped. Not dropped, but to the bench. But this apparently is not true, guys. The message I've got, Adam, you ain't going to believe who's in and who's out. I've seen the provisional team. Big fallout at training today too. Sorry, I think it's apologising about the message that came out actually, but there has been a massive fallout at Carrington today regarding the provisional team, and what we were guessing before. I can only assume you know what I'm saying. You know where I'm going with this here. You know what this is going to be being talked about, and it is the likes of probably Marcus Rashford being in the starting lineup for the final. It has to be along these lines. For him to come to me and message me and say that at the time he did, then it's serious. And again, it's things being leaked out of Old Trafford from the training ground. Again, it will be around the players. Someone won't be happy. I mean, guys, you tell me. Like when that sort of message comes through, and this has always been bang on the money, by the way. We talk about stuff that happens with injuries with this guy and what happens at the training ground and things like that. Not transfers, not guesswork, just things that have happened in and around Manchester United. And we were talking about the team and the selection for the final earlier on, but now it does look like Ten Hag might have reverted back to favourites FC and not getting any names. All I've been told is you will not believe it. Now, I've sort of like bigged that up there and said, look, there's a big announcement coming in terms of lineup this weekend. But he has always been bang on the money with everything he said. So we'll see. But again, I'm not surprised. Another fallout at Carrington. Luke Littler, Premier League champion, United fan. Top work, Luke. Brilliant. I've seen that pop up a minute ago before we actually started the live show. Brilliant stuff. Is it Garnacho, I bet? I don't think he'll drop Garnacho. Rashford dropped, thrown his dummy out, guarantee. I don't think it is, Stu. I think it's on the line of Rashford probably being in and people kicking off about it. Man United Planet, welcome to the Members Club, by the way, mate. Eddie Howe could be interesting because, for me, he would have committed to us for over 20 years. He's got a special, likeable charm about him. Players like him like playing for him. He's never leaving Newcastle. And do you think United, after the way that we dealt with Dan Ashworth and that situation, that we're going to be able to get their manager? Oh, God, no, that would be stretching it a little bit. Graham's back in the house. Hello, Graham. If Jim wants English manager, then he should hire Eddie Howe, says Danish Iqbal. Ten Hag knows he's getting sacked and doesn't care anymore. Could be a point. Like, he's just going to throw whoever he wants into this team. He doesn't care who he upsets. But there will be players in that Manchester United squad who fully expect to walk straight into that team. Straight into that team. No doubt about it. And I think Ten Hag, by the sounds of it, for him to message me like that, saying you're not going to believe this, then something big has come about. If the likes of, I don't know, if we've got Scott McTominay, Marcus Rashford starting this game, you know that Ten Hag has got no control. And it changes the whole outlook of everything. There's no reason for Ten Hag to play either one of them players this weekend. He's got the best fit squad that he's had. And he is going to be going against everything that he has said regarding injuries if he plays Rashford and McTominay. Maybe Casemiro dropped and he ain't happy. Varane may not be picked and upset with the last game. Maybe Stu. Who knows? I'm just guessing. We're all guessing right now. We're just being prepared for a bit of a shock team lineup against City this weekend. Neil in the chat. Are you, Neil? I kind of think Frank is the optimum. Thinking through maybe how Ineos looks at total integration to the model, Frank produces really exciting football and looks a great man manager. Good man manager, adaptable manager in terms of his style of play as well, which is something which is crucial in the Premier League. Does he have what it takes to challenge at the top? That's the question we've got to ask. I'm not too sure. I'm really not too sure. Byron Francis, if Kid McKenna gets in, what happens when he makes decisions these players don't like? They will eat him up. Player power will live on. Well, we talked about player power and then players going. Like, Ineos being in charge is totally different to the old regime, and the manager situation at United is totally different to what was there before. It will be completely different going forward because whoever's in charge and whoever Ineos commit to fully will have the full backing. There's going to be no spitting dummies out with Ineos in charge. There's going to be no players kicking up a stink and making sure that they get their agents in, having meetings, making sure that they are played and everything like that. Them days are gone at Manchester United with Ineos. We know that. I mean, if they weren't, after everything that Ineos have said, then Manchester United are doomed forever and a day. And I don't think we'll ever see the glory days again, but there will be change. I'm confident there will be change. Almost at 100 likes, guys. Thank you very much. Third live stream of the day. I think, like I said earlier on, with the news flowing the way it is, I don't think this is going to let up. I'm going to be streaming from abroad next week. There's going to be poolside. When the players don't care or give 100% on the pitch, but turn the world upside down on social media to play, this is United. David, yep. Yes, and yes, in terms of that comment right there. Sat is in the house. McKenna doesn't have the personality or aura of a great coach, unfortunately, so the players won't respect or fear him. Reese says, I have been told it's Mourinho, but Tuchel would be good too. Mourinho? Wow, Reese. I can't see that happening. But hey, I won't put anything past what's going on right now with some of the names that have been released out. Ineos are out of their depth if they appoint McKenna. He finished second in the championship. United will get relegated. Simple. Oh, I don't think we'll be getting relegated. That's a bit too far. David, every club want a manager with new ideas. If they play attractive football, it's a no-brainer too. Sign them up. Mesh United is for sure here to stay. And in this case, it's not really a good thing, and it's a shame. David, we are a bit of a mess, and I don't think it's going to clear up straight away with a new manager either. How much patience is this fan base going to have? Like, we are being strung along at the moment. Yes, we have no say on what happens. We are just supporters of the football club. But this club is going to need this fan base over the next few years to be behind whatever decision is made this summer. It's huge. It is that big. You cannot mess around and let this drag on all the way through the summer. The fan base is at its wit's end now. We've just had a shocker of a season. We need decisive action from Ineos as soon as that final is finished. And I think every Manchester United fan will be disappointed if we didn't get it. But I'm looking at them 4 managers right now. Pochettino, Premier League experience, finished well with Chelsea, has won League 1, but who hasn't, who's managed there? Frank never won anything. Managed Brentford well, kept them safely in the league every single season. Standout manager, excellent job there, but has known only Brentford at the top level. Is it a risk? McKenna never managed in the Premier League. That's a risk straight away. We talked about De Zerbi yesterday. He has a style of play, but has he got that final X factor? I'm not sure. That leaves us with Thomas Tuchel. The one, the standout, the experienced, the style of play, the in-game know-how, the winner. It has to be Frank. It has to be Tuchel. All that build-up and then mention Frank. There's no other way around it for me. It has to be Thomas Tuchel who gets the job for Manchester United. Otherwise, I think we are going to be in for a very bumpy couple of years. I hope I'm completely wrong. Well, let's not forget, whichever manager comes in, it's all going to come down to recruitment as well and the players that come in after the so-called dickheads leave. Do you know what? Thinking about that team and who starts, if he goes with Anthony Martial, I will go for Ten Hag. I will go for him. Like, if he goes with Martial and puts him in the final, that for me will be the biggest insult ever. After everything, after the bitching and the moaning about the injuries all season, and then he puts Martial in that starting lineup. Now that would be a shocker. That would be the one that stands out to me like, what the hell? After everything that these players that have just been thrown under the bus by the manager, by him saying that this process only works and we can't win this league with all the players that are injured out, that for me pretty much says that the players that he's brought in to replace them are not good enough. They've dug everything they can, whether you think they're good enough or not. They've given everything, and the effort has been there. There's just been no direction. And then it comes to the last game of the season, the one game that Martial is fit for, the end, the finale, the big bang, the FA Cup final and the Manchester derby, and he puts Martial in. Oh, don't even think about it. That would be epic. That would be epic. I'm actually going to try and message the guy now and see if I can get any idea. I've just asked him. He's just saying to me now, you guys want to see what's going on behind the scenes right now. He is in full-on tease mode here right now with what he's saying. It has to be something big. You can't big this up now. I'll slaughter him if it's something or nothing now. Let's see. Frank would be the right man at the right time. Sad that so few have seen the light. He is a winner with the qualities Man United truly needs. Frank, look, I'm not saying Frank is a bad manager. I think we have got players that work in a Frank system. I do. I think we would be better at set pieces. I think we'll be a lot more organised at the back. I think we will be more direct with Frank. I've seen adaptable systems. I've seen him tear United apart twice this season. We got lucky in the last minutes in the game at Old Trafford, if you can remember, McTominay. They battered us 4-0. They have a great press. They know exactly what they're doing, Brentford. And that's pure organisation of Frank. I'm not dismaying Frank. I just look at it and I go, is that the man to pick up the silverware? It's the unknown. It's the complete unknown, guys. I don't want to discredit McKenna. I don't want to discredit Frank. They are both very good managers in their right. And I'm just looking at it from the United side of things and going, is this the right move? Is he the right man to take us forward? Let's just check with my guy until... I'm just doing it now. Let's see. I've just posed the question. Again, he needs to come back with something juicy for me now. He really does. Keep your comments coming in, guys. Going to read through a few of them. Henry's in the chat again. Good to have you up late, Henry. Adam, if he is getting sacked, why should he care who he plays on Saturday? It's a good point, Henry. Someone else mentioned this before as well. So I would not be surprised if he played Martial. Don't do it to me. We need a top-class manager. Our squad needs a few tweaks here and there. And we will be good. I like the confidence, Reese. I do. Rajats. How is Thomas Tuchel different to Mourinho? He won the Champions League title. Well, he's different to Jose Mourinho because he plays a different brand of football. That's what we were talking about, like the style of football. Adam, Kieran McKenna to Brighton is the right choice to learn and develop further. Judy Sports, yep, 100% agree on that one. I would go to Brighton if I was McKenna. I wouldn't go to Chelsea. Avoid Chelsea at all costs. Just get away from him. Don't even bother going there. It will absolutely destroy you. Just checking, just for some updates to see if he's got anything. Eric Ten Hag has pride. He still wants to win the cup knowing the situation. Exactly, Richard. Like, for Ten Hag, this is big. This is big for his career moving past Manchester United if they do sack him. It helps him out in the back with arguing his place as Manchester United manager. But it also helps him out when he moves on. Like, we could be bigging this up and saying United, and we have got a better chance than what we did when we played City last time. We've got a few players back off the back of 2 wins. Yet it wasn't fully convincing, but we've got a decent backline in place now. We've got our full midfield to choose from, and we've got options up front. A lot of options up front. With players playing all right at the moment, and then City could go and blow us away completely, and we all just sat there going, why was we even debating what we could and couldn't do? That's exactly what could happen. Adam, it's gone 10 and I'm not getting bollocks for having YouTube on in bed. That's good, mate. Things are looking up. Great. Good for you. Who do you want, Adam? I think I've been saying it all along, G Singh. I want Tuchel. If Ten Hag is going, I only want Tuchel. I'm totally fenced out, like splinters in the arse with Pochettino. I cannot make my mind up still. I just do not know. He's been to too many clubs now in a short space of time. I was impressed with how he turned Chelsea around, though. I can't get away from that. I thought that was a really weird one with Pochettino leaving Chelsea. I just did not see it coming. I thought he was doing an all right job, and I was shocked. I was shocked. Louise is up and in the house. Didn't get notified that you were live. Here, though, I'm watching from the start. Good on you, Louise. Thank you very much. Yeah, we went on a bit of a quick one, Louise. I did the 6:30 show, then came, did some training. I literally missed about an hour and a half, and everything went off. Everything went off. I'm actually just going to check any updates. Right. Okay. Okay. Right. So I actually have seen a provisional sort of team lineup. I'm not going to say anything because I promised him. But I will mention one name as kicking up a stink, and you really won't be bothered about it. You really won't be bothered about it. Actually, when I look at the team, I go, whoa, God, he could have picked. He's been brave, I will say. If that is the team, he's been brave. He's been very brave. But I can see why he's done it. I can see why he's done it. And he's done this before against Manchester City as well. There's a player in there that I wouldn't play. And you can clearly see who he's going in the summer. It's all I'll say. It's all I'll say on that one. You can clearly see who's gone in the summer. And the fallout is with a player you really won't be that bothered about, to be honest. Big up Adam, a lot went off on Twitter, didn't it? And on Sky Sports News, blimey, and right near the cup final. The PR machine was on one. It was definitely on one. Good to see a lot more people joining us right now. A few latecomers as well. Loving this. We're going over everything that's happened in the last couple of hours, guys, because I said I went out, looked at my phone, and bang. It just went mental. It went absolutely mental. I'm not telling you, Reese. It will be crazy. Do you know what? I'll talk about it on tomorrow's show, so make sure you tuned in tomorrow, guys. That's what I'll do. I'll get some finalising and make sure I know exactly what is happening with it, and then I'll talk about it tomorrow, that leaked team that we might be seeing. A provisional team, let's say, for Manchester United. But it is going to be an interesting game, a very interesting game. FUTV opinion matters the most. I'm seeing things. Kaz is winding me up privately. I know Kaz isn't the boss of FUTV, by the way. It's the 4-2-2-2. Bruno, false 9 with McTominay, Rashford on the bench. Goals without saying. Jarvis, not quite, mate. Nah, not quite. I think the shocking one. Yeah, no, I'm not going to say any more. Not going to say any more on that one. But yeah, I do like Inzaghi, but I don't think he's going to leave Inter Milan, Dan. I just don't see that happening. But stranger things, I'm not going to put anything past Ineos and Man United and the way things have gone over the last few months. Anything can happen right now. McKenna got Ipswich into the Premier League. Yes, he did, mate. It's Premier League experience that we're talking about right now. I would like McKenna to stay at Ipswich and give it a year. If he is going to go anywhere, go to Brighton and just learn under less pressure for a bit. If it's true about McKenna, then this is a sign that those players aren't going to be there to worry about. No, you can look at it that way, Louise. Yep. I think with McKenna coming in, they're going to have to clear the decks. If that is the case, then they're definitely going to have to clear the decks and get some of these players and prima donnas out, because they are not going to respect McKenna. They are definitely not going to respect McKenna. No, Kaz doesn't know who's playing either. I've not told Kaz. Like I said, guys, it's just a provisional one. I'm not saying it's a definite, but I'm saying that the guy who's told me this hasn't been wrong with anything that's happened on the training ground. Doesn't even bother getting involved in any transfer rooms or any crap like that. He just says what happens on the training ground, injuries and updates like that. So it is full on dummy spit mode for one player in particular. And you know what? I'll give this away. You really won't be bothered about who it is. Adam said Kaz isn't the boss. In the house, well, not when we're live, because Kaz won't come on camera. So, yeah, that's how we're judging it. That's how we're judging it. Let's check our poll anyway, guys. Manchester United manager come 2024-25 season. You've got Tuchel, Poch, Frank, McKenna. Tuchel is leading on 39%, followed quite closely on 31% by McKenna. In third place, Pochettino on 21%, and then we've got Frank on 9%. That's really interesting. That McKenna's stock has gone up. Is it because we're doing a late show that McKenna's stock has gone up? I don't know. Because last night McKenna wasn't. He wasn't anywhere near. Poch has gone down. Frank, like I thought, just wouldn't come anywhere near. But yeah, really interesting to see what you guys are voting on that. I'll leave that running for just a couple of minutes more while we finish up. But yeah, a few more questions. Karen took the kids because he won a final with Atalanta. All of a sudden, he should be a candidate. Why not Ranieri? He won the league with Leicester. Must be unreal. Everyone arguing amongst each other regarding who is the best manager and the best option for Manchester United right now. Guys, please give the video a like. We're almost at the 150 mark. That would be amazing for a late show. We didn't have it scheduled. We just had to talk through everything that was going on around Manchester United, because a lot did go on while I was out for a little bit. So I thought it's only right that we have a bit of a chat about it, because I said at the start of the show, like, as a United fan, you're constantly checking your phones. You're constantly checking the news. You want to know what's going on with the club. It's that time of the season. Silly season is well and truly here now, guys. And this is not going to stop. Like, once the manager situation is put to bed, it moves on to the players. And that is going to be something that everyone's tuned in for. I will be completely on top of it, guys, as well, as always. I'm going to finish the poll there and bid you all a good night. I thank you so much for the new members. We had a few of them on the stream. Super chats, thank you. Everyone who's liked the video, love that. Almost at the 150 mark, brilliant. All of your comments, you've been well and truly in it tonight. There's been some arguing. There's been some debating. I love it. This is what football chat is all about. And it's going to continue, guys. It is. We'll always give you your opportunity to have your say here on FUTV. The streams may become more regular, so make sure you're tuned in, subscribed, make sure you've got your notifications on. When anything breaks, we're just going to talk about it. It's not just my voice, it's yours as well. FUTV Army all the way. Thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. Special show right at the end of the day. What a busy day that's been. But we are done. Thank you, guys. Like, share, and subscribe. Drop in the description on the video for all of our links to everything else that we're involved in. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you.